Today's lesson is called How Eating Too Fast Can Harm Us. Hello, everyone. My name is Jeff.
And I am Roger. And today we're going to talk about the benefits of eating slowly. Even though we have hectic lifestyles, we've got to cram for tests, or we've got to please our bosses by working overtime and stuff like that. But we still want to say, hey, you need to slow down, otherwise you're going to be a disgusting fat body.
Yes, that's true. People who eat fast very often are overweight, or at least they're 3 times more likely to be overweight than people who eat slowly. So yes, if you eat too fast, you are putting yourself in danger of being overweight. And yes, being overweight is not good for you. So that's one good reason to eat slowly, to not become overweight or obese, because obesity and being overweight, these conditions are not good for you. They're not good for you at all. And get this, there's even more. Apparently, if you eat too fast, you're at risk of developing a scary condition called metabolic syndrome, a combination of conditions that can lead to heart disease and stroke and diabetes. The list goes on and on. Anyways, folks, it's time for us to take a short break right now. But when we come back, we're going to read the second part of an article called How Eating Too Fast Can Harm Us.
If you are in the habit of wolfing down your food but have resolved to make a change, here are some steps you can take. First, choose the right environments for your meals. That means no eating at your desk or in front of the computer or television. Instead, sit at a proper table, whether it's in the kitchen or dining room. Turn mealtimes into moments to savor by putting on some relaxing music or lighting some candles. Don't treat meals as inconveniences or interruptions, since they're what nourishes your body and keeps you going.
各位好，第一部分我们看到的单字是 resolve， 这个字是动词，指下定决心、决议，之后常接 to 加动词。例如 Danny resolved to finish the project by the end of the week. Danny 下定决心要在这周内完成这项计划。而 resolve 除了上述的意思外，还有解决的意思。我们可以说 I'm afraid we can't move forward with the study until we resolve the funding issue. 恐怕我们要等解决资金问题之后才能继续这个研究。接着我们看到一个动词 savor， 指细细品尝，尽情享用。像是 After swimming practice, I'm usually too hungry to savor my food. 游泳练习之后，我时常饿到无法细细品尝食物。而在 savor 的字尾加上 y， 则可以成为它的形容词 savory， 指美味可口的。所以可以说 The hostess set out several savory snacks for her guests. 女主人端出多道可口点心招待客人。再来我们看到动词 nourish， 有提供营养、滋养之意。举例来说 The forest is nourished by the island's mineral-rich soil. 岛上富含矿物质的土壤滋养了这座森林。
Okay, so of course we've already established that eating too fast can be bad for you. It can lead to all sorts of problems. It can make you fat. It can make you sick. So if you are in the habit of wolfing down your food but have resolved to make a change, here are some steps you can take. So if you have this habit, if you have this tendency, or if you are in the habit of wolfing down your food, of cramming your food down, of eating fast, etc. And also, if you have resolved to make a change, well, here are some bits of advice here. So in this sentence, of course, we've got the verb to resolve. And usually that's followed by the verb to resolve to do something. In this particular case, you have resolved to make a change. So here the verb to resolve to do something means that you're firmly committed, you're firmly determined to do something, and you don't want to change your mind.
You've made a decision and you're sticking to it. Yes, here the verb resolve means to decide something strongly. That's all there is to it. Now, on day one, we talked about cramming down your food. We talked about shoveling down your food. And now we have another phrase for you guys, to wolf down your food. Apparently, you shouldn't do these things. Don't eat quickly. Don't eat too much. All of these things are bad for you. So if you're in the habit of cramming down your food or wolfing it down or shoveling it in, well, make a change. Resolve to make a change. And if you're one of these people who have resolved to make a change, well, here are some steps you can take. First, choose the right environments for your meals. And I get the feeling that a stall on the side of the road or a McDonald's restaurant are not going to be the right environments for eating or dining.
Yep, find some nice places to enjoy your meals. What does this mean? Well, that means no eating at your desk or in front of the computer or television. I would also probably add that means not eating when you're playing with your smartphone. If you do that, you're probably going to overeat. You're not going to be paying attention to what you're eating. You're going to be paying attention to that game you're playing on your phone or watching another Korean drama or whatever. So indeed, no computers, no sitting at your desk, no watching TV. Focus on your meal and enjoy every bite.
So there you go. No McDonald's, no stalls, but there's more. That means no eating at your desk or in front of the computer or television. So if you're at home, sit at your dining table. Don't sit in front of your computer. Don't sit in front of the TV. And if you're at work, hey, cut out that whole eating at your desk thing. These things are out. You can't do these things anymore if you really want to make a change in your life. So yes, what do? Instead, you sit at a proper table, whether it's in the kitchen or dining room. So like I said before, if you're at home, no computer, no television, turn these things off. Don't sit in your office chair. Don't sit on the sofa. Head into the dining room, sit at your dining table. And let's say you only have a breakfast nook, a small table in your kitchen. Well, that'll work too. If you go to the kitchen, sit at a table there as well. This is the first step that you can take.
Yeah, it reminds me of when I was a kid. My mother insisted that we have our meals together and we would sit at the table and eat and talk to each other. And that's why me and my siblings never really got fat, I suppose. But in any case, yes, don't eat at your desk. Don't eat in front of the computer. It says instead, sit at a proper table, like the dining table, whether it's in the kitchen or the dining room. Yeah, don't eat on the go. Sit down with your family members or with your friends and actually enjoy your meal. That might be easier said than done if you have a hectic schedule, but yeah, do your best. Try to sit at an actual table and have an actual conversation with real people, not sending line messages with stickers and stuff to your friends and stuff like that. No, sit at a nice table and enjoy the meal and enjoy each other's company.
Yeah, turn meal times into moments to savor by putting on some relaxing music or lighting some candles. And I will echo Roger's sentiment from before. Turn off your smartphone. Stop receiving and sending those line messages.
With those ridiculous stickers. And yes, indeed, turn those meal times into moments to savor by putting on some relaxing music or put on some nice lighting with some candles. So yes, we're going to savor your time together. That just means to enjoy something. It also means to taste something and enjoy it, especially if you enjoy gourmet cooking. Savor that food, and you can have a bit of atmosphere here with relaxing music. You know, put on some classical music or something like that, and light those candles instead of those overhead fluorescent lights. And don't treat meals as inconveniences or interruptions, since they're what nourishes your body and keeps you going. So a lot of times, we really have to eat. Do I really have to sit down and eat something? I've got so many other important things to do. But no, you can't treat those meals as inconveniences. An inconvenience, of course, is something that is inconvenient. It just doesn't help with what you want to accomplish. It gets in your way. It's an obstacle. It makes things a hassle. It makes things an inconvenience. And also don't treat them as interruptions, something that sort of disrupts you or cuts in and stops you from doing what you want to do.
There you go. Inconveniences and interruptions are about the same thing, but to be clear, an inconvenience is anything that makes your life tougher than it has to be. An interruption, though, is a very specific type of inconvenience. An interruption is something that interferes with the normal workings of something. It's something that distracts you, let's say, and keeps you from carrying on with your daily life. For instance, you could say, "Sorry for the interruption, boss, but we need you to come down to the lab immediately." So yes, the boss is in his office, diligently working when one of his underlings rushes in and interrupts him. Yes, interruption is the noun. Interrupt is the verb. Anyways, yes, don't treat your meals like they're inconveniences or interruptions, because these meals are important. These meals are what nourishes your body and keeps you alive. Yes, if you didn't eat, you would starve to death, so don't think of eating as a pain in the neck. Anyways, folks, with that, it is time for us to take a short break, but don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
Second, set aside at least 30 minutes for each meal, preferably at specific hours of the day. While eating, take small bites, chew slowly, and notice the flavor and texture of the food in your mouth. As sharing meals can also strengthen social bonds, remember to converse with those you're dining with and try to enjoy their company. Talking during the meal also lets you pause in between bites.
第二部分看到一个片语 set aside， 课文中代表拨出、保留时间或金钱。此片语表示为了特定目的特地拨出金钱、时间或空间等。例如 I set aside part of my paycheck each month because I plan to buy the house. 因为我计划买房，所以我每个月都会拨出一部分薪水。这边补充另外两个 set aside 的其他意思。首先可以用 set aside 来指把点点点搁置一旁。举例来说 You and your brother need to set aside your differences and learn to work together. 你跟你弟弟应该放下歧见，学习同心协力。再来 set aside 还可以表示不予理会，所以可以说 When Janice practices the piano, she sets aside her phone so as not to be disturbed. 当 Janice 在练习钢琴时，她不理会手机，以避免被干扰。接下来我们看到一个单字 texture， 这个字为名词，指口感、质地、质感。像是 Fuji apples are known for having a crisp, crunchy texture. 富士苹果以清脆的口感著称。又或者说The colors of the cloth are pretty, but I don't like the way the texture feels. 衣服的颜色很美，但我不喜欢它的质感。
Okay, so our article is giving us some advice on how to slow down and enjoy your meals so that you don't put on too much weight. So here in the next paragraph, we got some more advice. Second, set aside at least 30 minutes for each meal, preferably at specific hours of the day. So yes, you need to establish these times in your schedule. Set it aside. If you set something aside, that means you kind of keep it. You make sure that you have it, and make sure that you have 30 minutes for each meal. 30 minutes for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, maybe even longer for lunch or dinner. But yes, this is a minimum here, 30 minutes for each meal. I think that's asking a lot for breakfast, but maybe for lunch or dinner, that is reasonable.
Yeah, 30 minutes sounds about right. So set some time aside. Yes, to set aside here means to take or reserve or to keep some time for a special or particular purpose. Now, you can set aside time, but you can also set aside other things as well, like money. For example, I set aside a portion of my salary every month. Yes, I take that money, I set it aside, and I put it towards retirement or whatever else I want to do with that money. Anyways, second, set aside at least 30 minutes for each meal, preferably at specific hours of the day. And here we have the word preferably. It kind of means ideally, in the best case scenario. You can also say that this word preferably, it's an adverb, it could also mean if possible. But to be very clear, preferably the adverb means if possible or in the best case scenario, so on, so forth. Yes, this is the adverb. The adjective would be preferable and would come from the verb prefer. And anyways, if something is preferable, okay, if A is preferable to B, let's say, A is better or more desirable than B. Further, if you prefer A to B, you just like A better than you like B.
Right, I could say, I prefer living close to an MRT station, or I could say, I'd like to buy a house, preferably one near an MRT station. So in this particular case, set aside those 30 minutes for each meal. And preferably or ideally, you want to have these at specific times or specific hours of the day, like lunch at 11:30 or something, breakfast at 8 o'clock, whatever. You can set the times yourself. And while eating, take small bites. Don't take big bites, and choose slowly and notice the flavor. Pay attention to the flavor and the texture of the food in your mouth. Here we've got the word texture that just basically refers to the quality of the food, what it feels like, maybe what it looks like. Of course, there's an interesting texture to moaji. Of course, when you eat that, ooh, that has a kind of sticky texture, whereas if you eat bread, that has a different kind of texture altogether.
There you go. Now there's more. As sharing meals can also strengthen social bonds, remember to converse with those you're dining with and try to enjoy their company. And earlier, Roger talked about how his mom made he and his siblings sit down at the kitchen table to eat dinner. And while you're gathered there, yeah, you talk. It just happens. So yes, if you are sitting down at that kitchen table, try to converse. Try to enjoy the company of the people that you are eating with. This will help you to eat slowly and in a healthy way. Anyways, here we've got the verb converse. To converse is to talk. It's to have a conversation. That's all there is to it. You could say Jerry and Lana conversed while riding the elevator together. They talked with one another. Anyways, talking during the meal, our article continues, also lets you pause in between bites, so you end up eating more slowly. How about that? So, converse during your meal, talk with others during your meal, but make sure to not talk when your mouth is full of food. That is rude. Anyways, folks, with that, it is time for us to take a break, but don't go away. When we come back, we'll be wrapping up our article on the evils of eating too fast.
Lastly, don't forget to accompany your food with sips of water. This both aids in digestion and slows down the pace at which you eat. By training yourself to eat more slowly, you'll not only become healthier, but also derive more joy from mealtimes.
最后第三部分我们看到名词 digestion 有消化的意思。例如 I like to drink a cup of tea after each meal because it aids digestion. 我喜欢在每餐饭后喝一杯茶，因为这样能帮助消化。而 digestion 去除字尾的 ion 则可以成为它的动词 digest， 可以用来指融会贯通、理解。所以我们可以说 It took us some time to digest all the information. 要理解所有的资讯花了我们一些时间。
Okay, so to review today, we're giving you some advice on how to slow down when you're eating. You need to choose the right environment. You need to set aside some time for your meals. And lastly, don't forget to accompany your food with sips of water. So this is the last bit of advice here. Lastly, you can't forget to eat your food with some water. So here we've got the verb to accompany. That just means something is with something else. When I was in band in high school, of course, and I went out for some I participated in some contests. I played the tuba, and I was accompanied by a piano. Somebody played the piano while I was playing the tuba. I was accompanied by a piano.
You guys played together. Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
Accompany, to come or to go along with something or someone. I think you guys get the idea. Anyways, yes, don't forget the water. Don't forget to drink water while you are eating your food. Why? Because this both aids in digestion and slows down the pace at which you eat. There you have it. So sip that water while you're eating. Your body will thank you.
Absolutely. And by training yourself to eat more slowly, you'll not only become healthier, but also derive more joy from meal times. So it's a win-win situation, of course, if you train yourself to eat more slowly and have some water when you're eating. And if you make sure you spend enough time eating and you do it in the right environment, hey, you will benefit from this. You'll get a lot of joy or happiness from what you're eating. And you'll also be nourished. You'll get some great nutrition there and you won't get too fat. So that's some good advice. So we wish you the best of luck. Don't gain weight and try to lose weight if you're already too fat. Okay, that brings us to the end of our explanation. Let's listen now to our Chinese teacher.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文第一部分的最后一句提到 Don't treat meals as inconveniences or interruptions since they're what nourishes your body and keeps you going. 别把用餐当作麻烦或是打断的事，因为它们是滋养你身体以及让你保持活力的东西。好，那这边有几个重点。首先句子里面用到 keep somebody going 或者是 keep something going， 这表示使某人或某事物继续存在，继续运作。其实我们常常用 keep somebody going 来表达让某人在艰困时期继续坚持下去，像是 The only thing that keeps her going is her son， 他儿子就是唯一让他坚持下去的动力。好，那接着我们看到课文里面的 treat， 它是当动词表示对待看待。当我们用 treat A as B， 就表示把 A 当作 B 对待，当作 B 来看待。例如He treated the whole thing as a joke， 他把那整件事当作个玩笑来看待。好，那另外要帮同学们补充单字 interruption 它的字首字根。先来看它的动词是 interrupt， 那它的字首 INTER 表示在什么什么之间， RUPT 这个字根呢表示打断。当我们从中去介入某件事情或是介入某个活动，那它的连贯性就被打断咯，所以 interrupt 它就有打岔或是中断的意思。那你接着在 interrupt 后面加上名词字尾 ION， 就变成 interruption， 表示干扰或是终止。好，那我们顺便补充几个有相同字根的单字。第一个是 corrupt，C-O-R-R-U-P-T， 在这个字当中 RUPT 表示破裂，那它的字首 COR 是来自 COM， 它有强调的作用。我们的 COM 碰到字母 R 就会被同化成 COR。 好，那同学们可以试着联想啦，当所有的事物它都全部崩坏分离，那就可以用来表达它腐败了腐化了，所以 corrupt 它就有腐败腐化的意思咯。好，再看第二个单字是 erupt，ERUPT 这个字的字首 E 它有向外的意思，那么 RUPT 表示破裂。好，爆炸的时候是不是会有东西破裂，会有很多的碎屑向外喷发，所以 erupt 这个动词它就有喷出爆发的意思，常常用来表达火山的爆发。好，那么第三个单字是 abrupt， A-B-R-U-P-T 它的字首 A-B 有分离的意思，那么 RUPT 表示打断。同学们可以试着联想，当某个东西呢突然断裂，你是不是会有很突然很意外的感受呢？那么 abrupt 这个形容词就是用来形容意外的突然的唐突的。好，接着读到课文第二部分的第一句，他说 Second, set aside at least 30 minutes for each meal, preferably at specific hours of the day. 第二，至少空出30分钟享用每一餐，更好的是在每天的这个某个特定时段。好，那这边有一个片语是 set aside， 副词 aside 就表示在旁边，那这个片语原本的意思是把东西放在旁边，那这个是个具体的动作，具体的意象，可是它有延伸出抽象的语义，可以用来表达搁置不理，不予理会，像 set aside your worries 就表示把烦恼搁置在一旁。另外它也可以用来表达 播出或是保留，像是为了某个目的特地播出金钱啊、时间、空间等等。例如 They set aside some money for their vacation， 他们为了度假有存了一些钱，有保留一些钱来用。好，那么以上是这些重点整理，我们回顾今天的单词吧。
Resolve. Nick resolved to cook at home more often after his doctor said he needed to be more careful about his diet. Inconvenience. The airline apologized for the inconvenience of the delay, offering passengers a discount on their next flight. Interruption. Liz lost track of what she was doing after several interruptions. Preferably. Andy is looking for a new apartment, preferably one near his university. Converse. If you converse with other applicants while waiting for the interview, you may feel less nervous. Accompany. You can accompany your meal with your choice of soup or salad. Digestion. Eating a large amount of food before sleeping is bad for digestion.
Discussion Starter starts now!
Here's our discussion starter for today. Our question is, what other methods can you use to make sure you slow down when eating?
Oh, another great way to do this is to break your meals down into courses, small courses. If you have the food brought out to you in courses one at a time, you're not going to dive in and eat all that food at once. You're going to be spacing out your meal over a long period of time.
Well, another great way is to actually cut your food into very, very small pieces and then eat with chopsticks and eat each individual item of food one at a time. That way you won't be wolfing your food down and it will take you much longer to finish your meal, but hey, you won't get fat as a result.
Okay, everyone. With that, today's article is now complete. But, as always, we sure hope that you guys have enjoyed reading along with us. Anyways, I'm Jeff.
I am Roger.
See you next time.